for the video before all of that stuff. Turn on notifications or else I'll break your ankles. And yeah, let's get into this.
Okay.
So the topic of the video today will just be Neji versus Sasuke. You could tell that by the thumbnail. Neji is shown to be a prodigy from the Hyuga clan, stated to have one of the strongest taijutsus, if not the strongest one, due to the fact that they are able to damage you without directly causing injury to your body, and something as little as a scratch could cause fatal damage, as they can basically touch your internal organs. Pause. Not that kind of way. Calm yourself. But yeah, Neji can basically one tap people through their internal organs, which would mean that if Neji has if Neji is faster than someone, right, then he's able to basically beat them up regardless of how durable they are. I'm looking at all of you Gara fans in the back. Here, I'm coming for you later, right? So
What the fuck?
Neji should
And I have a problem with this video so far. His audio is so goddamn bipolar. It's either loud as day or it's low as fuck. Bro, what is going on with your audio? And then two, he came out with a statement about Neji being like a prodigy or a genius, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Bro, Sasuke has plenty of statements like that as well. So far, he has not provided anything remotely definitively proving why Neji's stronger than Sasuke. And then two, the title of the video is How Strong is Neji, not Neji versus Sasuke. So what the fuck? Like, is he okay? He is struggling right now.
be if AP and durability really don't matter for this kind of topic, because Neji has
Why?
the ability to bypass your durability. So yeah, there's that. Onto his speed, Lee is confident that even without his weights and all of that, we know that Lee is confident when he's stronger than someone. Lee's quite confident in it. He even goes as far as to lecture Sasuke once he realizes that his hard work is stronger than his talent, about how his Sharingan is basically useless to him. But even after that, he still cooks down to Lee, calling him the strongest right there, right? Even after seeing Sasuke in that, he knows his own ability. Yes, Lee did train after this, but
That's another problem. Like, which Sasuke is he talking about? Like, what Sasuke are you talking about, bro? If it's literally preliminary tuning exam Sasuke, yeah, obviously he gets bitch and slammed, even prime or nerfed. If it's final tuning exam Sasuke with Chidori, that's contentious. There's arguments for Sasuke, there's arguments for Neji. So, like, who are you talking about?
is just trying to imply and push forward that Neji is just this goal that Lee can't beat, this hard work or this talent that surpasses his own hard work and that. And yeah, that's basically, even if we throw all of that narrative stuff out the window, right? Lee specifically saves Fifth Gate to beat Neji, right? You may argue that, oh, it's just to counter his taijutsu style. His taijutsu style mainly revolves around speed and the fact that it has Neck, because your Neck.
Okay, so this doesn't make any sense. He has a Neji versus Sasuke video right here. Yet, literally, then he has a video of how strong Neji is, but yet it's still about Neji versus Sasuke. What? Like, right here. What? Okay. Well, at least in this thumbnail it says strongest in the tuning exams question mark, but it's still like when you make a video of how strong someone is, basically all you're supposed to do is just talk about how strong they are, you know what I mean, scaling, whatever you name it, and then towards the end of the video finally conclude whether who they can beat or whatever, you know, based upon your arguments and scaling. That's the whole point of how strong videos are. Not like, let me make a how strong a character is video and then just talk about literally an entirely different topic of Neji versus Sasuke, and that's all I'm going to talk about, instead of how strong Neji actually is. What? I don't know. Or, it doesn't even make sense in a way, even if you're doing both at the same time, where, you're saying how strong Neji is and then saying why he beats Sasuke or some shit. That also just doesn't make any sense, because it's just, you're blatantly, on one side only, basically, for a versus battle. Well, whenever you're doing a versus battle situation, you at least want to talk about both characters and be as transparent as possible, not just be biased and fucking dick ride one character. It's so weird. But as you can see, he has tons and tons of videos, though. So I'm actually intrigued, tons of Naruto stuff, so we'll definitely do more reactions to this guy as well. But so far, not a good start.
Has nothing that actually helps you if you can't tag your opponent. So I think that's like fourth game and all of that. Yes, okay, like yes, it might visually look faster, but I do think that of what the author is implying to us, that the fourth gate should be massively slower than Sasuke. The gates are implied to be a 12 times multiplier due to the fact that Kakashi uses the word dozen. Dozen obviously means 12 when they're like talking about his multiplier, right? So like almost it says you should be getting dozens and dozens and dozens of times stronger. So fourth gate, that's like 12 times 4. Let me do some quick math. 12 times 4, 4 is 8. It's like 48 times faster than when he was in weightless, right? In weightless, he was compared to the speed of people like um tuning exam Sasuke even after all of his training. And tuning exam Sasuke should be like above Gaara's sand in terms of speed, and also should be quite like slightly relative to transformed Gaara due to the fact that he's able to dodge some of its attacks. Yes, you can try and argue that okay, he has a Sharingan and the Sharingan is what's allowing him to dodge these things, but as we know from Lee himself, that if you aren't fast enough if you aren't fast enough, right, your body can't keep up with your perception. So, in conclusion, what it says, Neji should be above people like transformed Gaara in terms of speed. Now let's just go into how he matches up with.
Why? Why? He still has not given the why. All he said so far is Neji's stronger than Lee or whatever. Basically, just nothing but subjective like arguments. And then basically said like Lee's fourth gate is trash. Sasuke's faster than Lee. Didn't even explain that. And then says therefore Neji's stronger than Sasuke and Lee. What?
People like Sasuke, for example. Sasuke has things like the Chidori and the Sharingan. The Sharingan is stated in one of the data books to increase your combat ability in all kinds of aspects. Combat ability, you could argue that combat, due to the fact that it uses the word ability, therefore it's like a singular term, or you saying that okay, all kinds of aspects, therefore it's plural. And I can't be bothered to go into all of that stuff, but let's just say it just increases your combat speed and
Bro, this man is lost in the sauce right now. He's struggling just to speak.
of that really doesn't matter, because I don't, even though it increases your combat speed, there's nothing that implies that it reaches the ceiling of a 12 times amp in your terms of speed. So we just have something that we can quantify and something else that is just up to speculation alone, and we can't go off speculation. So he should just be like unquantifiably above, like he should just be unquantifiably above people like his base form. I don't know why that audio was in the back, so like bear with me. But yeah, he should be unquantifiably above his base form and stuff. And he also has things like Shidori. Shidori should be above 50 in terms of speed, because like Lee states he can't dodge counter attacks when moving at that speed. But we see that he's able to like maneuver himself while he's at fifth gate, right? Able to maneuver himself in ways that would be able to dodge counter attacks, right? So you can argue that Shidori would make him above Neji in terms of speed and stuff, but I don't think Sasuke would start out the fight with Shidori. Not to mention, I think that like Neji's Byakugan would allow him to like see the chakra that is building up inside of like Sasuke's arm, and then just like shut it down before he can completely build up the chakra. Or he'd use things like rotation, which is compared to like Gaara's sand by Tenten, to like block his attack, or to like block his attacks, or at least slow it down enough for the damage to be decreased. We don't know how long Sasuke can keep on Shidori active once it's pierced or once it's clashing with something.
So the problem with the Shidori argument, to where like, oh, he's a Shidori now, he's faster than fifth gate Lee. So there's actually an abundance, and I mean an abundance amount of evidence to prove that Shidori actually doesn't amp your speed. The only thing that's ever stated with speed is the thrust of your strike with Chidori. That is basically what says says that's really fast, is you striking with the Chidori, not you like it literally amping your entire body and you just moving faster. And the whole reason why they talk about like the Sharingan is needed in order to utilize Chidori is because if you're relative to your opponent or equal to your opponent, okay, they can easily be able to parry or counter the attack. Chidori can be easily countered, which is why it's an incomplete jutsu, okay? Meaning you need the Sharingan in order to use precognition to analyze the attack that's being thrown at you and then to react to it accordingly, etc. This is blatantly stated and explained in Boruto several times. It is explained in Part 1 Naruto several times, okay? And it requires 2 Tomo Sharingan and above in order to be utilized for the technique. Nowhere does it say that it increases your speed stats drastically to where now you can just straight at speed blitz. No, all it allows you to do is give you insane levels of AP piercing power because it's lightning style and it's basically like a fucking, it's basically like a Biju Bomb jutsu, but instead it's like a Biju Bomb as a sword basically, you know what I mean? And literally just that makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like it's so retarded. I don't know where people get that from. There's plenty of examples and plenty of feats that literally show that it's not increasing speed. You know, like to where like basically Sasuke is being shown to be equal to someone a relative, and then he uses Chidori, and yet he's still equal and relative to them. So it's definitely not a speed increase, because if it was, then he would be faster and just speed blitz. He wouldn't even need the Sharingan then. You know what I mean? That's what people don't understand. Lee with the gates doesn't need a Sharingan because with the amount of amplification he gets in his power and stats, he is so fucking fast that literally he could just speed blitz. It doesn't even matter about whether if a person can counter or parry an attack or whatever, because if he's just so much faster, he just slams. So when it comes to Chidori, it doesn't amplify your stats and speed. It's blatantly just not the case at all. You can try to make arguments for it that it does or whatever you name it all day, every day, but the feats contradict it, and statements, literally statements talking about Chidori blatantly contradict it. Like, literally. And then Lee even says in the fucking Konoha Crush arc and everything that that he wouldn't be able to do what Sasuke is doing with Chidori because he doesn't have a Sharingan, which is correct. Lee in base has weightless speed, okay, and if he had a Chidori, he would not be able to do that. But if Lee had gates, where now he's like way more fucking faster, which is blatantly shown visually, and you name it, etc. And even the data book stats also confirm that as well. And even the feats against Bone Man Kimamaru also further conclude that Lee is the most powerful and fastest compared to Sasuke and you name it. Okay, there's so much fucking evidence for it. Literally, Lee would just have a Chidori in his hand and just fucking speed blitz and stab you. He wouldn't even need a shot at him because he's just so much faster than you. You know what I mean? It's like Goku being like in base, being equal to someone, tries to use Chidori, can't land it because, you know, he's equal and he doesn't have a Sharingan, right? But then Goku fucking does uses Ultra Instinct with Chidori. Now it's complete and he can land a hit. Okay, but let's say Goku doesn't have Ultra Instinct, and let's say he does Super Saiyan 1 and increases his stats like way over. Now he can just speed blitz and he still doesn't need a Sharingan or Ultra Instinct to dodge and time because he's just so much faster than his opponent. That's literally what you're working with when it comes to Lee, was Chidori. So him bringing up like the fact that like, oh, Lee says like he couldn't whatever, blah, blah, like you would have to prove that he's talking about when using the gates, which you can. 2, you would also have to prove that fucking Sasuke is once again also faster than the fucking gates. Good luck also proving that too. Like visually, it says otherwise. Fucking feats says otherwise. And any statement in feats even resolving once again around Chidori, there is nothing to indicate that it increases his speed drastically. You can maybe argue a little bit, you know what I mean? Or you could still argue, if we're applying full transparency, that it literally does nothing for you. It only increases the speed of your thrust, which makes sense because when the Raikage puts a lightning cloak around his entire body, everything is increased. But when Kakashi and Sasuke use a Chidori with their hand only, right? Their hand, it makes sense why your thrust, your attack would be super fucking fast, and it makes sense why it would pierce through shit. And it's lightning, meaning the AP is even further increased. So, once again, like, it's, come on. I mean, it's common fucking sense. Like, I can't stand the Chidori speed increase argument. It's so retarded.
Yeah,
It's probably going to be the longest pause I'm going to have for this video because that's the most important thing to debunk.
That's going off of Sasuke bullying, Sasuke scaling. Most of Neji's feats against Naruto, I don't think they should actually scale to Naruto. Naruto is resolve amped in that fight. I'm pretty sure he sees something about being Hokage, which is stated to make him stronger. He also should have a mental amp since he's trying to like defend Hinata and stuff. So he's trying to defend the promise he made to her to like make her stronger, which would also increase his resolve above his normal levels of just like, oh, I want to defeat my opponent, blah 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 blah. What else? What else? What else?
This man's saying what else? What else, bro?
The case of Lee, yes, while Lee may be faster, if Neji, no, not only will Neji not allow him to go into a fifth gate in a fight, right? Also, I don't think that
Why not?
has the AP.
Neji in character doesn't give a fuck what you do. He let Naruto use the Kyuubi's power. What? Why not? You would have to prove in character of why Neji would not allow that, which it's the opposite. Neji wouldn't give a fuck what you do. Neji is such an arrogant, prideful person during the beginning of part 1. It's not until the retrieval arc where he doesn't underestimate people and doesn't want them to you know, have the advantage or be able to put him in a danger or risk. Neji doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care what you do. He doesn't give a fuck. He would definitely let Sasuke use Chidori. He would definitely let Lee use the gates. He would definitely let Naruto use Kyuubi. Guess what? He did. So, no, you would have to prove that. Like, good luck fucking proving that. If he's bloodlusted, and this is like a debate scenario, then that's a different story. But if you're talking about an in-character fight, no, hell no. It would be the opposite. You would have to fucking prove that.
To even defeat Neji in the first place. Yes, Neji got knocked out by Naruto. That was still a resolve of Naruto, and he was fatigued. He also survived like the blowback of like his rotation and a QB amp Naruto clashing, a QB amp resolve amp Naruto clashing. So his durability is nothing to joke at, right? So I don't, even though fifth game might hold the speed advantage, I don't think that it should have the AP to put down Sasuke permanently.
That also doesn't even help him, because if I was actually arguing in defense for Sasuke, Sasuke does a Chidori against QB Naruto, full QB Naruto, you name it, and literally goes right through him like butter with QB chakra. While when Neji literally severely damages Neji after using rotation, and that wasn't even full QB. That was literally just QB chakra around him. So that's also not really good. Like, he didn't even prove anything. He didn't like say why that was like not an anti-feat or whatever, blah blah yada yada. Instead, he just said like, oh, it's actually really impressive and just shows how durable. Like, no, if we actually analyze what Chidori does to QB Naruto, it's not. Meaning Neji would get also fucked up by Chidori, by that, basically, if you connect the dots. And Naruto needs to use a Rasengan in order to deal with the Chidori, not his body.
Like Sasuke could have. So, which is why Sasuke is called the strongest opponent of Gaara, and Lee isn't. So, haha, Lee fans, stay angry. But yeah, Neji is.
That doesn't make sense. That would apply to fucking Neji then, bro. What the fuck? Like, if you like literally take that, which is the strongest evidence you could ever use for Sasuke, by the way, it's literally basically have an interpretation and just blatant subjective of comprehension. And to basically upscale Sasuke, which makes no sense. We're basically going to two fairyland. But literally, saying the strongest opponent, whatever, that's the strongest evidence you could possibly use in favor of arguing for Sasuke. But by that logic, he's basically literally conceding and concluding that Neji also loses. Neji only scales literally to fucking second gate Lee. That's it. Like, third gate and above is stated verbatim several times to be above Neji. Okay, etc., the whole fucking nine. And if he already conceded and concluded in his video that fifth gate Lee is weaker than Sasuke and everything, you know what I mean? And then basically, like, all that shit. And then literally even admitted before, like, Neji would never let Lee use the fifth gate or whatever to lose or whatever you name it. You see what I'm getting at? He's contradicting himself, and that makes no fucking sense at all. He already basically flat out admitted that Sasuke's stronger by literally saying that towards the end of the video. He literally contradicted himself and debunked himself. That makes no fucking sense. There's plenty of evidence of why Lee with the gates is stronger than Neji. This is flat out shown feats-wise and statements-wise. Data books, stats, and guy literally says it himself verbatim. Like, bro, this video is absolutely horrendous. I'm not even going to finish it. There's no point. This video was absolutely ass. I have to dislike it. It was horrible. Holy shit. It was absolutely fucking horrible. like extremely unprofessional. Um, what's it called? Horrible scaling, no transparency, blatant bias and favoritism for Neji. And then literally the worst thing you could possibly ever do in a scaling video, debunked himself and contradicted his arguments, and literally just conceded and admitted that Sasuke is now stronger than Neji. Instead, what he should have done is explain why that statement is interpreted incorrectly and what the correct interpretation is based upon the feats and other statements that we have when it comes to Sasuke and even the data book stats. Like, this guy is a clown, but hopefully he improves and gets better. I always believe in anybody in the spectrum of, you know, content creation and you name it, whatever, or fictional shit. But so far, a very bad start from Mr. Shinra. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, that was rough, really rough. Like, bro, Noodles is more convincing. Like, when it comes to untransparent shit. So, but we'll kind of leave it there. That's going to basically be it for this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, what you thought of the video overall, and whether you think Neji is stronger than Lee or Sasuke, or the strongest during the tuning exams. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe you guys on the channel. Bye out. Peace.